Look at Randy Orton slithering.
Oh, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
KO! Here's the cover.
Hey, what's up guys? Back with another video here today. This time we're going to be on Arctic Region, the T54 Lightweight. And really showing you a couple of spots I like to use. But the main focus of the video is going to be on the mini-map. I know this is always the biggest question on the channel. Why do I use the compass mini-map? Always the argument that the square mini-map offers me where you can see more of the battlefield. I get all that. But I'm just going to go over English. A couple of reasons why I prefer using the compass mini-map. So, just get started here. Talk a little about the gameplay hopefully later on, but right now I'm just going to go over the reasons I use that map. So, I prefer the close range detail it offers, especially when playing the light tanks. It's just easier to identify where the buildings, enemy tanks are, so that I can maneuver around them when in like a close range brawl, which, as you've seen a lot of my gameplays, that happens fairly often, where I'll be engaging multiple tanks and trying to dodge buildings and structures and stuff so I don't get slowed down or stopped, because once you stopped in a light tank you're dead. It's also kind of a result of me playing competitive a little bit like a couple years ago, that those battles were always so close quarters that you had to maneuver around other tanks and stuff, so I was always in the lights. I know this is a real surprise, but I always like just running that circle map so I could avoid the enemy tanks and kind of block where they were shooting at in those type of gameplay environments. Another reason I really like it is I like that it rotates based on where I'm looking at that moment, and it's easy for me to like just determine which direction a tank is coming from based on that. Now I know they added a feature recently so that the square map also turns. I tried that, and I'll be honest, I didn't care for it. It was real confusing because it just turned at 90-degree angles real sharply. This is real smooth. It turns every direction, and it just helps me situate better, just me personally. And another reason is if I need the large map, which for me isn't often, I personally think my large picture like situation awareness is pretty good compared to my close range, which struggles sometimes. I'll just be honest, especially when I don't use that map. I've noticed it, but using that large map if I need it, it's only a click away. It takes maybe a second if that, which I know for some people it seems like, oh, that's a long time, and yeah, it is, but I only bring it up when I really need it and when I can. But again, I know most of the maps by heart after playing so many games only on tanks. And another thing is, when you see me bringing that back up, most of the time I'm actually checking the enemy tanks that are still alive and who's still alive, since like unlike on PC where they have the tanks on the side of the screens, we don't have that feature. We just have the type of tank, like medium light. You can't see that it's an autoloader or a really good player or something like that. Another reason is just the Twitch chat recently moved the stream broadcast thing when using the Xbox app version of it down to the bottom right hand corner. So if I do use the square map, it covers up about like the bottom 2 whole rows of squares, so you basically can only use 8/10 of the map. It covers up a little bit of the compass, but a lot less for me, and I'd rather be able to use more of my map, even if it is a small one. And just another reason is just I played 30,000 games with it, and it's just what I'm comfortable using at this point. I've tried several times to use the square map. I even used it this past weekend to give it another shot, just for you guys. But I every time I do it, I do okay. I mean, I do good. I mean, I know I'm a decent, but I know there's situations where I just completely don't see a tank that's right up next to me pop up, just because it's such a tiny dot on that big map that I just don't see it when it's right next to me. Versus the small map, I usually see that, and it's like I said, it's just a personal preference thing to me. But overall, I will say though, if you're someone who is new to the game, I would definitely recommend using the large square map, as it does provide a better overall picture of the battle. And really, if you don't know the maps like I do, like I said, I played so many games, I know all the maps for the most part. I know how they play out, generally. So I care more about what's going on the small scale versus I know how of the big picture, those maps are going to play out every time. So, if you see me, the only way you may see me switch to the square map permanently, and I don't think it's ever going to happen, because I think they've said this several times, but is if they add the last known positions of enemy tanks on the map. Then you probably would see me switch, because that's a pretty important piece of information that you can't see that easily on that little map. There's no way you can. But overall, for right now, that's really the reasoning on why I use that map. I know it's the question I get asked the most, and to be frank, I always hated replying to it, I'll just be honest. But so now that I'm doing commentary, I wanted to just get it out of the way, answer that question, really explain why I use what I use. And again, it's just personal preference, what I like to use. Just based on what class I play the most light, so I'm usually right up close to people when I'm battling sometimes. But in all reality, just use whatever map you like. And I know the square map would be helpful for some of you guys, but it's my personal feelings that I'd rather give you guys top quality gameplay, and I can't do that if I'm using that other map right now. I'd rather give you guys the best I can do rather than sacrifice some performance. That's just me. I just believe that way. But I hope that kind of answers all that. So now we're going to get into a little bit of the gameplay, I guess, if we join into the match about halfway through-ish. So we've already picked up about 2,700 damage, 2,200, oh, I'm sorry. I'm not used to that. We should be doing more damage and assist. 2,700 assists, 2,200 damage. And right now we see a gap in their lines, so we go in and exploit it, and we're going for the Artie. We know all their tanks are out of the base. We spot the Artie, but he doesn't spot us, so we kind of use the terrain to make sure he doesn't see us, and we get the drop on him. We creep back up. We don't know where he's at, and then we see we get him crossing up. And now we're just going to the opposite direction of his gun, use the terrain, get down to low ground, and we're going to take him out easily every time. You got to be careful with those French ones and light tanks because of the turret, and they're pretty quick. That's why I was being kind of cautious with him. You just got to... Here, I don't know, I probably shouldn't have gone to cap. Excuse me, but I think they're all too busy really paying attention. I did see TDs for the right, but I feel like I'd rather save this flank over here and cause a distraction. At the moment, I see there's like an IS-7 and I believe T-54 and E-75 pushing up here. Now our team's in a pretty good position on that hill, but I just think me coming up over here, I can distract them enough that where maybe I can bait them coming after me. I really want to target that T-54 because if our team gets in a bad situation, I'm the last one left. He's the only one that's really going to pose a threat to me in terms of mobility, so I want to eliminate him off the board first. At least that's my mindset here. We get 2 shots into him, which is great. He's a potential 1 shot, but more than likely, we're not going to high roll. But we see he starts chasing us, and I believe when he's chasing us, he gets taken out. So we baited him real well there, made him chase us. Here we get spotted, but I think that was by the IS-7, not the Tortoise. I kind of forgot the IS-7 was there, but we just kind of figured he was tunnel vision. We pinged 1 shot off the roof, but our goal right now, as you see, I think that about 30 seconds ago, we started getting capped. And there's nobody really in the base to defend us. So we're going to go back and reset this to the best of our ability. I know it's either the Waffle 4 or E4, so it's a big gun. But we just got to use the terrain and try to play it smart. Light them up. Snapshot on the move, just for the sheer luck of it. We were getting close on the cap timer, so I didn't want to chance it. And now we're just getting this dip. That's probably our best position. We can use the hill and terrain to our advantage. We can actually get unspotted here if we really want to. But we can use that semi-bouncy turret to put shots into these guys. And now we have the attention of the Waffle as well. But now it's just playing chicken, basically, with a tier 10 TD and a tier 9 TD. See if we can go for the Cupola, nail that shot home. The Waffle, for some reason, goes right into the cap with him. I don't quite understand that. because now they're in the same direction. It's easier for me to really focus on them. But really now it's just kind of a delaying game. Hopefully our teammates can come back, one of them, so we're not fighting 2 TDs at once. I'm being super cautious here because I don't want to take hits from these guys for good reason. So we're going for these paper shots. Now we're starting to do something I sometimes do, is just auto lock and just RBRD on the guy and just pull it real quick. As soon as I'm across the ridge line, pull the shot. First time it didn't come off quite right because I misjudged the hill, but the second time it comes right through. So, but you see what I mean? When you're defending the base, sometimes this spot right here is the best if they just sit in the base like this. You see now it's getting down to like 10 seconds, so I aim my shot here, make sure it goes in, and we gotta reset that E4 now. For some reason he starts moving. I don't really know why, but it works to our advantage. We know his gun is not. We get really unlucky if he hits us while he's moving. And now the waffle is just a piece of cake. And well, unless we bounce off the side of his turret for some reason. So I forgot about that. But you see, we were able to defend until our, I think that's our Conqueror got back. And now we can just pick this E4 apart with his Cupola. With our last APCR premium rounds. Which are pretty necessary because our regular APCR rounds just don't quite have enough pen. Because even our APCR ones don't have enough sometimes. But you'll see, I mean, we aim this perfectly and basically just... I think that's maybe went a little low, but... Now, something I didn't know here, I think this guy is just kind of giving up now. But I don't trust anybody, somebody they play dead. So it's whatever, but that's how we defend the base here. It's just good situational awareness to come back and make sure we don't lose the game. And you'll see we picked up just north of 5k damage, 27 assists, which you saw earlier in the game while I was discussing the mini-map. There's a couple decent spots I'd like to go to. But overall, really clean game. We didn't lose any hit points, so just an absolute perfect game on my opinion for the most part. But yeah, we easily carry that tier 10 game in our tier 9 light tank. And you see their E4 had a hell of a game also. It's just over 8k damage, but it wasn't enough. So I hope that answered the question. This enough for you all, but until next time, I'll catch you later. Hey, what's up guys? Back with another video here today. This time we're going to be on Arctic Region, the T-54 Lightweight. And really showing you a couple of spots I like to use. But the main focus of the video is going to be on the minimap.